Hello, and welcome back to a brand new Pick a Side stream
Come
reacting to the
on,
playoff
man! Come
game one of
on,
the
man!
ECF.
Look
Man,
at him!
Uh,
Oh, look
uh,
at him! Oh, my brother, oh, oh, my brother.
yo, I'm
Oh,
fucking crying.
it was scary
oh,
hours for you, Dales. There was a moment in
that's
time that
oh,
you were dreading
Oh
coming on
my
a
heartbreaking.
god.
playoff live.
Ooh, that's why you play till there's zeros, man. That's why you play till there's zeros. God damn. What a game.
It
What
was an
a game.
amazing game. The Celtics beat the Pacers 133 to 128 in overtime. I think really what I want to mention here is wow, did the Pacers blow it? The Pacers blew it.
Yeah, they choked it like
They
dogs.
did.
They
Big time.
choked it. In the fourth quarter, Siakam was hitting some great shots in that free throw extended area. Tyrese Halliburton came alive. Andrew Nemhard was getting his buckets. They were hunting Al Horford the entire fourth quarter. He's
It was
getting
hard to
hunted like
watch.
a dog,
Yeah.
and he was getting cooked.
I felt
So
bad.
they need to figure that out, and because that's going to keep happening throughout this series. I think I've been impressed with the Pacers' offense throughout these playoffs, and I think this game they really showed that they can score with the best of them. They're not going to stop you defensively, but they can score with the best of them. The two plays that come to my mind when they blew the game was Tyrese Halliburton dribbling off his leg, and then the inbound pass to Pascal Siakam, which Jalen Brown gets a hand on and it goes out of bounds. You can credit the Celtics defense, amazing defense down the stretch. But man, I just can't help but feel like the Pacers blew a golden opportunity to steal game one, be up 1-0 in the series. And I think Rick Carlisle's coaching down the stretch lost them this game. I really do. Not fouling on the inbound, you're
Not
fighting,
pushing.
you're fighting through the screen. So Pascal Siakam is not in position to really contest Jalen Brown's three. Even if you switch that, I would much rather live with a smaller defender contesting the shot in better position than Siakam kind of scrambling to contest the shot. And then in the overtime period, Aaron Nesmith being fouled out really hampered their defense. I thought the 3-guard lineup in that situation was idiotic. I understand TJ McConnell's been playing well, but you need size. You had Andrew Nemhard on Jason Tatum. You just had no chance on defense. You gave your team no chance on defense. I understand it because you want to give your team a better chance on offense, but I think having a guy like Obi Toppin out there can spread out the floor even more, and you still give yourself a good chance. I think down the stretch, coaching cost them, players just having mental mistakes cost them, but the Celtics took advantage. Jalen Brown hit that big time three, and in overtime, the Celtics just wanted it more, and they took over. They took advantage. Tatum hit some big time shots. I know he was great in the overtime period. He had a lot of points. I just can't help but feel embarrassed for the Pacers defensive scheme for doubling on a Derek White dribble drive and leaving Tatum wide open at the top of the key to shoot a open three. It just made no sense to me. But shout out to the Celtics because this is a game that they could have very easily lost.
Dels, let's build up some anticipation. Let's build up some anticipation.
First of all, does my mic sound okay?
Last. Yeah, you sound
Does
good.
my mic sound
You
okay?
sound
Okay.
good now.
Because I had to switch.
We'll have you talk last to build up some anticipation, but I'll be honest, watching this game down the stretch was painful. It was painful because Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown really did do a pretty bad job of closing the game until Jalen Brown clutches in, goes and forces the turnover on Pascal Siakam on that inbound pass, and then nails one of the clutchest shots in his career, period, to send it into overtime. I'll give credit where credit is due. Jason Tatum did have an amazing defensive stance on Tyrese Halliburton, but when it was in the air, there was a part of me that thought that was going in and was ending the game, honestly. I've just seen the Pacers just hit some insane shots this postseason run that honestly would not have surprised me, and Halliburton was cooking tonight. But you mentioned it, Joel. You said it perfectly. I look at what they were doing to Al Horford on switches, get him to that free throw line extended. Nemhard was killing Horford there. Also with Pascal Siakam, if he gets to that free throw line jump shot, 9 out of 10 times that's going in. But the fact that the Pacers The fact that the Pacers could not hold on and win this game when they had such a firm grasp of the W. I mean, you have to seize these opportunities, especially as such a heavy underdog. I mean, Dells must have said it 30,000 times. We're minus 900, minus 1,000 to win this series. When your back's against, when you're already at such odds, and you have the heavy favorites with their backs against the wall, you need to seize your opportunity. But even still, I understand Jason Tatum had game high. You guys know my opinion on Jason Tatum. I think that he's a hell of a ball player. He's stamped top 10 in this league. He did not look it in that fourth quarter in overtime. Joel, you were kind enough to put the stats up on Twitter. 4 for 9 combined fourth quarter and overtime. If I'm not mistaken, 2 for 7 from the fourth quarter. He closed horrendously, missed wide open 3 to tie the game, and Jaylen Brown had to bail him out. Yes, in overtime, he hit some big shots, no doubt about it, to put him
We're getting there.
But, I mean, Drew Holiday also, he needs some acknowledgement here. One of the games that he's had in his playoff career, he was absolutely fantastic. But Jesus, I mean, the Celtics never make it easy on themselves. They love to play with their food. I mean, I had the Celtics winning in 6, which would have meant they would have had to lose some games, obviously. But Lord, losing game 1 would have been such a backbreaker for them. I don't care if you would have been more motivated. I know that we've seen them go down 0-3 before and fight their way back in last year's playoffs. But they never make it easy on themselves. I think Tatum needs to come out, be better, just more consistent. I don't care if he finished with game high tonight. He needs to be more assertive, needs to be more consistent, because nights like tonight, I mean, you don't get this fortunate every single time out there.
He played great, though, in the third quarter. He played great. Really, that fourth quarter, he was sorry.
Yes, when it mattered the most, he was not good.
And underrated, but in overtime, the turnover when he got doubled that Halliburton just snatched and stole, he televised that pass that he tried to make to Drew Holiday. If the Pacers were able to take advantage of their opportunities, we're talking about something different here, but they didn't.
Yeah, turnovers blew this game for the Pacers. Real quick before you go, Dels, I think this is going to be an awesome series, especially with that Kristaps Porzingis for the first game or two. This was the Pacers' ultimate opportunity to come in, take a 1-0 series lead the way Miami did last year, going on to win an extra 2 games. And for me, it really just comes down to Indiana's half-court offense, the intention, the event of ball movement, and then Tyrese Halliburton shooting the way he did today. The shot making was simply unreal. The 2 threes he hit in the second half were from good 27 to 30 feet. And when he's playing at that type of level, and you have Miles Turner going 3-4 from 3, Pascal Siakam playing pretty well, that Pacers offense was the best in the NBA by a wide margin before Tyrese got hurt earlier this season. And then you add in some really good role players. I know that he fouled out of this game, but a couple of the guys like Andrew Nembhard, he stepped up big time, had a huge shot late in the fourth. And then, of course, Aaron Nesmith. Those guys round out what is one of the toughest offenses to prepare for. But I felt like for Boston, this being a close game, it wasn't necessarily a testament to maybe how poorly they played. It's a testament to how tough this Pacers offense just is to defend. And like you guys mentioned, this was their game to win in the fourth quarter. They put up 117, but that Jaylen Brown three-pointer with 6 seconds is one of the most ridiculous playoff shots I've seen. It reminds me a lot of OG Anunoby's game winner in Game 3 versus Celtics in the bubble, in the corner, tough shot, very huge must-win game for the Celtics. He misses that. They end up losing this game. They're down 1-0. Porzingis game too. And you're looking at this series and saying to yourself, they just lost most of the momentum. So that shot right there was pivotal. I think the way that Tatum played in the fourth quarter was crucial, but the biggest unsung hero for Boston's got to be Drew Holiday. Got a lot of open looks, made his threes, and then more importantly, took advantage of guys off the dribble. When he had TJ McConnell on him, he did his thing. And that is the real reason why the Celtics won tonight. It was Drew Holiday.
I'm not even going to stoop to your guys' level talking about Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter because this brother was insane in overtime. I mean, this brother in overtime having the and one, what he was going for the post up, the and one, someone draped all over him off the back, but boom, hitting that
After
three, you doubling Derek White.
Layup?
Hey,
Oh,
it don't
Lord.
matter. It don't matter how you start. It matters how you finish, and it matters how
Talk.
you respond to adversity. Because this brother, I agree with you guys, was not good in that fourth quarter. But
All
in
right.
overtime, he hit the clutch of shots of the game. And overtime, he hit that three to put us up 4 points. And overtime, he hit that and one to give us a little cushion. And overtime, he was hitting those clutch free throws down the stretch. So you can talk all this shit about the fourth quarter. I do not care. I do not give one rip. Paul George doing that shit. Fucking Paul George doing that shit. Paul George's best year is in top 3 Tatum year of all time. Get that shit out of here. Anyway, I'm not a Tatum guy. I'm a Boston Celtic guy. I'm a Boston Celtic guy. I'm not a Jason Tatum guy. I love Jason Tatum to death, but I'm a Boston Celtic guy. And this was a fucking team win. This win is what everyone was asking for the Boston Celtics damn near all season long. When we're losing about 20 points to the Hawks in March, and everyone's going crazy because DeJounte scores 40 points on 40 shots saying, I don't know if they're championship level team, man. Clutch time. I don't know if they're a championship level team, man. And this is what happens in May. This is what actually matters. All the motherfuckers in my mentions who talk shit in March, most of your teams aren't in here in May and June for a reason. Boston's been doing this shit. Boston was one of the best clutch teams in the NBA in the regular season. No one cares. Got to do it in the playoffs. Guess what? We just did in the playoffs. Guess what? Second clutch win in the playoffs this time. Haven't lost a clutch game in the playoffs. That seems pretty damn good to me. Shout out to Drew Holiday. That brother was insane. I mean, 28 points. He was hitting everything. The ball pressure he had on Tyrese Halliburton in overtime, that huge turnover in overtime where he was right up in Hallie's grill at basically the half court line, causing that turnover. But yeah, the one moment that you look back on if you're a Pacers fan is 10 seconds left, 8 seconds left. You have possession and you have a 3-point lead. There is no world, no situation where you could turn the ball over there. You just simply inbound the ball. Celtics have to foul. You go up by 2 possessions. If you hit at least 1 free throw, game's probably over. There's less than 10 seconds left at that point. But you do it's a bit of a contested pass. Jaylen Brown gets his hand in there. Siakam tries to save it. And Jaylen Brown just hits one of the biggest shots, as you mentioned, Drew, of his career. That 3 in Siakam's face. After I think that was his only 3 of the game, I believe. Yeah, he was 1 for 4 from 3. The only 3 he hit of that game. Clutch shot. I mean, damn, I agree. I think this is going to be a great series. You know, I picked Boston in 6 because I do think Indiana has some real things that are going to annoy Boston. You saw how great the offense can be for Indy. You saw how often they were getting good looks. You saw Tyrese Halliburton at the end of the second quarter and at the end of the third quarter hit some just ridiculous buzzer beater shots. It was giving me Jordan Poole flashbacks. I was having PTSD from that. But my God, man, what a team win. And this is only game 1. You know, it doesn't matter if you win games by 5 in overtime or you win games by 30. It's just one game. But it does feel like if the Pacers really wanted to make a statement, this is the game to do it. Although Boston's lost game 2 in the first two series. So maybe that trend continues. But they did miss a golden opportunity to steal home court advantage.
I mean, it's a huge sigh of relief that the Celtics won the game, you know, with how that fourth quarter ended. I don't know about you guys, but I think Tyrese Halliburton might be back. I think he might be back. He attempted 14 threes today.
He might be back. He might be back. But in that fourth quarter, I know that they had mismatches, and they executed. Nembhard made his shots. Siakam made his shots. Down the stretch, would have liked him to be a little bit more assertive himself, personally. But overall, I thought he played an awesome game too.
25 points, 10 assists, 3 steals. He has some good defensive plays, you know, for the most part. He's just a defensive liability. That's what he is. But no, he looks good. He's taking more shots. He's being more aggressive. He was abusing that drop coverage. I think really everybody played well. Miles Turner played really well. Pascal Siakam played really well. Aaron Nesmith struggled at first and then kind of picked it up later in the game. But I really do believe that Rick Carlisle has to adjust for game 2, and he has to play his more physical players in game 2, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was about like 2 to 3 buckets where when Ben Shepherd was in the game, Drew Holiday was just bullying him. I mean, they have a clear size advantage, and you are not going to be able to guard Boston if you're not matching up with that size. Aaron Nesmith, I thought, did all right for most of the game, but he's a much better defender for Jaylen Brown. And Pascal Siakam's a better defender for Jason Tatum. I just don't think you give your team a chance when you are having a 6'3" guard Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown down the stretch. It just makes no sense.
And that's where, real quick, my one criticism of Rick Carlisle has always been how stubborn he is to play rookies. He's played Ben Shepherd, but you talk about physicality. Jarris Walker every team he's been on, physicality in the defensive end has been what he's brought the most.
This is his series.
And not playing him throughout the regular season and not playing him the first 2 series. In the postseason, he's gotten 3 minutes a game. He's not going to be ready for this opportunity. Maybe he wouldn't have been, but that's the only player who can really add that element. And unfortunately, Rick Carlisle never really seasoned him to be ready for that type of stage.
Isaiah Jackson played 3 minutes. I mean, he didn't play at all today.
one player that was killing for majority of the game was Miles Turner. He shot 9 of 13. I see some people in the comments mention Miles Turner too. One thing the Celtics did down the stretch of the game, second half, maybe third, fourth quarter, they went to zone a bit, which I thought at times kind of messed up Indy's offense. And they also put Jason Tatum at times on Miles Turner, because one thing they were killing the Celtics in that first half was it was pick and roll Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton. You know, you have Al Horford either playing drop on Tyrese or not fast enough or quick enough to get back on Miles Turner. You put Jason Tatum, who obviously has a ton more agility than Al Horford. So now you go into that pick and roll with Miles Turner. It's a lot harder to get open looks. Now Al Horford's guarding either Aaron Nesmith or he's getting Pascal Siakam, and those are two of their worst three-point shooters on Indy. So it makes it a lot tougher to get in that pick and roll action and get good looks off of it.
And that's why TJ McConnell really doesn't play down the stretch, is because he can't space the floor. As great as he is in his spurts and his minutes, when he comes off the bench for a couple stints, he cannot be in a closing lineup because nobody respects him as an outside shooter. You have to provide more spacing. But this has been the Pacers' MO the entire playoffs. Their bench keeps them alive in games. And it was the case today too. You look at the plus minus. TJ McConnell was a -8. Don't pay attention to that. Sorry. Ben Shepherd was a +5. Obi Toppin was a +2. Pascal Siakam was a +5. That 3-man lineup with Siakam, Obi Toppin, and Ben Shepherd, they were really impactful, and they made their biggest runs of the game when they went to their bench and you had Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, and Payton Pritchard out there for Boston. So that's something that for the entire series, I think that Indiana just has a clear advantage in. So their starters have to just pick it up and play better.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a fun series. By the way, just looking at the overtime stats, Jason Tatum had 10 points. Can you guys guess who the second leading scorer was and how much they scored?
Was it Jaylen Brown with 2?
Jaylen Brown, 2 points. Derek White, 2 points. Jrue Holiday, 2 points. Jason Tatum outscores the entire team.
Cool.
Now, he went crazy in that OT.
Jason Tatum basically matched everything that the Pacers did.
Jaylen Brown,
John,
Jaylen
cool.
Brown. Yeah. Jaylen Brown saved legacies tonight.
That doesn't happen without Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
Wait, what are the buckets? So he went 2 for facts.
Brother.
Tatum went 2 for 4 in overtime. He missed a corner 3. He hit a top of the key 3. He missed a layup, and then brutal. He had an and one layup, and then he got fouled in transition by Aaron Nesmith. That was a foul out. The rest of his buckets, did they not come off of like intentional fouls?
He made the 3 at the top of the key, did he not?
He made
half of free throws.
He did hit 5 free throws, but guess what, brother? He went 5 for 5 at the line. Okay, I'm supposed to be mad at that. You bet your free throws. If he would have went 0 for 5, he had 6 points, but it was no free throws. Like
when he spun off into the lane and had the lay, I'm just like, all right, get yours, and it rimmed out.
At that point, bro, I just can't watch this shit anymore. I just did not want him to have it, bro.
Can't watch this shit anymore.
You're not going to get more a better look than that.
Oh, no, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, it's a good thing they pulled it out. Santos sent a super chat. Calling me an idiot was rude, Mr. Dells. And Drew, I still love you. LOL.
Love you, Pookie.
He put the fucking Tatum meme, not him, on the back of the jersey.
That shit was funny.
Hey, but listen, overall,
I mean, get back quick.
The fourth quarter wasn't good, but Jason Tatum was great for most of this game. First, second, third quarter, he was imposing his will. In the fourth quarter, he was just missing shots that he usually makes, and they happen to be some of the most important shots of the game. But hey, sometimes the ball doesn't roll your way.
And Joel, we were talking about it before, and Jaylen Brown he started this game off hot. I believe he started the game 5 for 6. Didn't really have the best in between games. Second, third, really the fourth. I didn't think that he played overwhelmingly great, but he had two of the biggest plays of the game were by Jaylen Brown. You could argue probably the 2 biggest plays of the game were by Jaylen Brown. I mean, just unbelievable stuff out of the Celtics, and
fun game.
They make everything interesting. I mean, for that, we have to appreciate the Boston Celtics. But Lord have mercy, I've never seen this amazing of a team make something look so hard.
I was really hoping they lost tonight, man. Look.
I think a big
after you dropped the whole video talking about the Indiana Pacers can do this.
Right, low key. I think a big thing for this series moving forward is just going to be when Porzingis returns. Reports came out this morning that he could return for game 4, but that's 3 games away. And I felt a big thing for Boston that would really work is Jason Tatum at the 5 versus Indiana team. They're not really going to kind of impose their will as much. Miles Turner at the 5. So now Turner is Turner being guarded by Tatum does take away some of the stuff off their menu in the pick and pop game. But it's harder to have Tatum at the 5 when your top 5 guys include Al Horford. And if you take Horford off the floor, you have to play a third guard and Peyton Pritchard. Porzingis comes back into the lineup, and now you can forget about Tatum at the 5. You've got that reliable presence in the interior. And I just think without Porzingis, this series could be 2-2. And then you move into game 5, Porzingis trying to work his way back. And I think the Pacers could push this to 7 games. That was my impression looking at their offense. And for a team that's so young and experienced, beyond Pascal Siakam, I think this series is going to be crucial for them, and you can see them get more comfortable and composed the further it goes on. And on your point, Joel, you saw that on the last possession of the game. Pacers' lack of physicality, especially in creating their own shots. When Tyrese Halliburton got the ball 4 seconds left trying to get a shot off, and he just got swallowed up by whoever it was, whether it was Tatum. It was Tatum. That gave me the impression that, look, this Pacers team is still not quite ready yet for a team that has the size, length, and physicality Boston does. But how many times they've been in this postseason crucible, they're going to put a lot of pressure on this Pacers team, and they're just going to have to get acclimated to it.
Oh, yeah, I thought Siakam should have had that shot.
Never mind. Me too. Me too. But, I mean, I respect Halliburton for taking it, truthfully. I mean, I asked him to be aggressive.
He just dribbled into a corner. He really didn't do nothing.
Nah, he tried to. He has no bag.
Like I felt like
Halliburton has no bag.
I know that he was trying to run down the clock, but off the inbound, the catch, that was the shot. Mm-hmm. That was the shot right there. He had a good look, but
he hit that at halftime.
He's trying to channel his inner Kawhi there.
Yeah, you know, I just
hold up.
No
Jason Tatum locked his ass up on that possession too. Locked his ass up. Locked his ass up.
Man.
Game 2 predictions, man. Who we got?
Boston.
Honestly, I'm torn. I've seen 2 series in a row where Boston loses, and then we're here making fun of them, and then they end up closing in 5. Yeah, shout out to Joe Mazzulla. Wasn't that bad of a coach tonight, not by any means. I'm going to go with the Celtics. I feel like I'm just going to pick the Celtics every game, even though I know it's Pacers in 6. I think the Pacers win game 3, but they lose game 2.
Look, I know the Celtics didn't shoot well tonight with 33% from deep, but I'm going to take the Pacers in game 2. I felt like it took the best possible game from Drew Holiday to win tonight.
And I just hater, Joel.
What the Pacers do is sustainable offensively. They did shoot 37% from deep, but there were a variety of possessions in the third quarter where they were getting open looks. They were just missing a lot of them. And I feel like Indiana's offense can replicate an 125-point game. Not to mention, I think Halliburton is getting closer back to that level he was at, pre-All-Star break. And if he's going to give you 23 points on super efficient three-point shooting, timely three-point shot making, I got Indiana winning game 2. That's just my impression. I don't think the Celtics I don't think the Celtics are going to make it look easy. I just feel like this is going to be a series that's very dramatic.
I never said it was going to be easy. I just said to take the Pacers.
That's why I see them tying the series up.
Yeah, I got the Pacers tying it up, and I got them splitting at Indiana too. This is going to be a 2-2 series going into game 5, brother. Just want you to be prepared for that, Dels.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We've
done boy Hallie. Hey, you saw that block he had on Derek White. He did his thing.
2-2. We've been 2-2. We've been everywhere, man. We usually come out on top.
You guys lose game 2s, though. You guys lost in the first round. You guys lost in the second round.
I'm saying 2-2s.
Okay.
I've seen this go 2-2. I've seen this go 3-2.
In the conference finals last year, the lost game 2.
Yeah. Listen, man. This is a good win.
Game 1, 2, and 3 last year.
It was a good ass win. It was a good, ugly win.
Listen, brother, gotta win these. Okay. No, 2-win. Gotta win these.
Come on.
If you want to win a championship, this is the type of shit you need.
And that's gonna do it for our time on the stream. We'll be back here tomorrow live after game 1, Timberwolves and Mavericks. That's going to be a doozy, man. Sure. All right, but we'll catch you guys.
I can relax tomorrow. Thank God.
Congrats to you, Mr. Dels. Happy for you.
Appreciate y'all.